Rev it up, let the engine sing. Lights flashing, bass gonna ring. TJ, Mr. Skip in the lane. Queen Kong, Nighthawk, bringing the flame. Atlanta car cash, we ride supreme. Supercar dreams, yeah, we live that scene. TJ on the mic, keep the talk tight. Mr. got the vision, make the chrome shine bright. Queen Kong in the back with the audio blast. Skip flexing, never coming last. Nighthawk swooping with the midnight glow. We the kings of the street, let the horsepower show. Engines roar, neon lights, Atlanta nights, we on the side. Some Camaros, the Lambos, we set the tone. Car culture united, this is our zone. Atlanta car cast, where legends roll. Tune in, buckle up, let the stories unfold.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Do we got sound effects? We got sound effects tonight. Can we hear some clappy claps? Can we hear some clappy claps? Queen is in the building. We all in the building. Can I get some clappy claps? Yeah, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Can we get a little acknowledgement from the baby? You got to hear from the baby.
This is Atlanta Cast Network.
That's right, that's right. Back at it, back at it. Welcome back. This is Atlanta CarCast. I am the one that goes by the name of Mr., a.k.a. the Pod Son, a.k.a. Mr. Tesla S. I'm going to start tooting my horn a little bit more, a.k.a. one of the super hosts of the industry and here to serve the people. To this side of me, the Queen Kong, South Carolina recognized legend in the game, one of the most beautiful Tahoes I have ever seen. Don't forget it. Above her always, Mr. Skip of Skips, Trophies, and more. If you want a trophy that is top tier, get your orders in. If you get it in late, he will tax you. Facts.
Bang, bang.
And above me, as always, she needs no introduction. The Oracle. Miss TJ, www.tjjakes.com for your everything needs. People always say, what does she do? Who is that? Who are you? She is everything and beyond. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hit you with one thing before we get into this show. This is going to be a good one. I need you to get locked and loaded. If you haven't shared this to somebody, do so now. This is going to be a burner. Okay. But we got some late breaking news about some of the things we're doing. If you've seen the other week where we launched a merchandise line, and shout out to everybody who has bought merch so far. The Atlanta CarCast merchandise was launched on our website, which is underneath my name, AtlantaCastNetwork.com. You can get all your merchandise. And now we have brought to you this.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Mister from Atlanta CarCast. Check out our new merch store where we drop new products frequently. Get your merch now and use code LAUNCH20 for 20% off.
All right.
Yeah, that was quick, fast, and a hurry. So that is proper Atlanta car culture tees and hats on deck. They are on the website right now. And if we get some feedback that we want to do your area, like South Carolina car culture, Alabama, Tennessee, surrounding areas, please let us know and we will drop that merchandise on the site. Anyway, Queen, how was your week, ma'am?
Oh, it was chill. It was pretty chill. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty chill. It was a lot of using up all of my daytime minutes and texts, and you know what I'm saying? But it was pretty chill. Most part of the week.
Them shows be wearing you out. It take you like 2 or 3 days to recover, right?
So you know, like I really have to recover after the show. So yeah, so I'm just trying to get my mind right. Tomorrow's Friday, so yeah.
That's what's up. Mr. Skip.
A lot of driving. Well, not a lot of driving, but driving just the sun. We're going to talk about everything else from this past weekend, but that sun, y'all, I lost 13 pounds from Friday to Monday.
Allegedly.
Not allegedly.
And listen, I ain't want to be bragging about my weight or what I ain't, but when I got on that scale and I looked, I was like, I thought it was broke. I changed the batteries in it, but I lost 13 pounds water weight, whatever you want to call it. I sweated away 13 pounds this weekend.
Wow.
That's what that sun did to me.
Miss TJ, you lost 13 ounces?
I did not. I didn't lose anything, I don't think. I swear. Let me tell you, I got my hair cut and my barber put all this stuff in my head. And I told him, I said, it's going to be hot. I think it's going to like drip down my face. It's gonna run. And he was like, no, I'm gonna spray. You good. Man, every 5 minutes, people was like, Miss Tia, you got a towel. You got white and purple stuff running. It was awful. It was the hottest. It was hot.
The hottest car show this year.
It was hot. It was. That's my worst bad. You know, if there's a good, bad, and the ugly, that was it right there. I thought I was going to, chocolate melts. I thought I was just going to slide into the pavement.
Oh,
That part.
I don't know. We do this. We do this dance every year, and we do shows in August and July, and we forget. We really forget that 95 degrees is the devil. It is, extremely hot.
Yeah, he was out there with us this weekend. It wasn't just the devil. He was standing beside us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't with y'all, but I was definitely outside, and I didn't appreciate it. So my apologies for not getting out in the field. So with
You
that
were
being
busy playing
said,
with llamas and
yeah. I was playing with animals and pigs. I seen a turtle kind of getting it on with another turtle. Didn't waste no time. Didn't care who was watching. He was. I think he was a black turtle. It had to be because a white turtle wouldn't do that.
I really think there's something wrong with you.
Oh my goodness!
Disclaimer: he does not belong to me. He doesn't belong to me. That's the disclaimer.
He was a black turtle.
Yeah. I know he had a simple name like JJ, or it was like real, he was trying to kill that little girl.
Hey, man.
Oh gosh. Anyway. Good evening, Atlanta CarCast family. First and foremost, thank you all for taking the time to join us tonight. Whether you've been rocking with Atlanta CarCast since day one, or you're one of our newest supporters, we appreciate your commitment to this amazing community and what we've built together. Atlanta CarCast has always been more than just a podcast. It's a movement, it's a culture, it's a platform that celebrates the people, the stories, the cars, and the community that make the automotive world so special. Over the years, we've connected enthusiasts, promoted events, highlighted businesses, supported charitable causes, and created opportunities for people to come together through our shared passion. Tonight's town hall is all about transparency, collaboration, and growth. We want to hear from you, share where we're headed, discuss upcoming initiatives, celebrate our successes, and explore ways we can make this community even stronger. Your voice matters, your feedback matters, and your ideas help drive the future of this culture. So let's have an open and productive, keyword, productive conversation, share some great ideas, and continue building something that represents the very best automotive culture and community service. So on behalf of Atlanta CarCast, the entire team, even Nighthawk with the T, who's in the background somewhere, let's get into it. So we're going to let our guests introduce themselves, but let's bring Mr. Gant and Miss Jackie to the stage, and also Mr. John Callahan.
Give us some claps to the people.
Well, all right.
Claps to the people.
Claps to the people.
There we go.
We have Mr. Gant, we got Mrs. Wright, Mr. John Callahan. Now, this first time we can play the welcome back soundbite for Project Jasmine, but John Callahan is the first time on Atlanta CarCast, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome, sir. So we're gonna give it to you first. Kind of introduce yourself for the people that haven't seen you or know why you're here.
My name is John Callahan, as you guys were saying. I've been in this automotive game 27 years now. I've done, for a large portion of my career, I was one of the main helping hands with the Nopi Nationals. If some of y'all have been to our shows from 1999 up till 2023, I helped coordinate and execute those shows all across the East Coast. Well, actually across the United States, with our largest show being in Atlanta Motor Speedway. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have been to it before. So I hope you all got, everybody had a good time, at our show, because we strive to make sure everybody had a great time, which at one point in time, we were the largest car show in the United States. So I have a huge background, building cars, and as well as doing judging and things of that nature for pretty much any automotive field.
Okay.
There we go. And then also we have Project Jasmine. They've been on the show several times, and they just had their show this past weekend. So welcome back, guys. Mr. Gant seems smoke Corvette black right now. I can't see him. I can't.
Not
That's smoke, or is that Mr. Gant?
Like you're in the shadows, like you're trying to see the photos.
There we go.
Shout out to Smoke. Mr. Gant, Miss Wright, how you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Doing good.
Good. Glad you guys can come back on. So we're gonna have a great discussion here about car culture. John, you're here. You're a judge. I don't know if you mentioned that. Did you mention to the people that you're a judge?
He did.
Oh, okay, good. And he judged Project Jasmine's car show this year, and it's been a little bit of chatter in these streets and also on Beyonce's internet. So we're gonna talk about it tonight. So if you guys have questions in the chat, put them in the chat, and we will try to address them. And if you want to join, the link is pinned in the chat on YouTube. So if you're watching this outside of YouTube, you might not see that link and you might not be able to get to it, but it is pinned on YouTube for you to click on it, unless you want to copy that some type of way, shape, or form in order to join the conversation. And let's keep it kosher. All right, so where do we begin?
So let's talk about judging. I mean, because ultimately, we have two judges. Well, three of us actually tonight. And I think that one of the biggest things that, is at issue at most car clubs is judging. So let's really just get right into it. What do you guys think the true purpose of car show judging is? Is it recognizing excellence, inspiring growth, or simply just determining winners?
Who's taking that
All
first?
of the above. All of the above.
All of the above.
Okay. Anybody want to elaborate a little bit?
The purpose of car show judging, that is the perfect answer, because that's what a judge should embody when he's judging or viewing your car for scoring purposes. One of the problems, in my opinion, is a lot of people who claim they're judges, who say they're judges, who learn how to judge from whether it be old school, white glove, or the ethnic shows that we do. Everybody does not know how to take bias and put it in their pocket. I think a lot of problems with people judging is they'll say, "Oh, I don't like that." And you should never say that when you're trying to be as unbiased as possible. You shouldn't think that. You shouldn't judge that way. And the perception I've gotten, or we've seen, as far as this, like Mark says, Beyonce's internet goes, is that that's what the whole ideology is, that, oh, well, he just don't like South Carolina, or, Georgia didn't do this, or blah, 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 blah. So glad you're here to answer the questions that's going to be there. But that's part of why we're having a town hall, so everybody can hear it firsthand versus hearing it from the shit starter or the bone carriers, so to speak. Because you know how some people hear something and twist it 50 ways and then say, "Oh man, Skip said this." Glad you guys are here for that. So that's my outlook on that question.
Let me slow it down real quick though, and add another kind of pre-question. And you and Skip can both answer this question, Mr. Callahan. Who taught both of y'all how to judge? I know who taught Miss TJ.
John, you want to go first?
I learned from the guys, when I did the SEMA show years and years ago. when I was first getting into the automotive industry, I had a gentleman take me under his wing when I was frequently at the SEMA show, which then in turn they turned me into doing some judging at the SEMA show, and that's where I learned a lot of stuff. But it's also the same token. You don't learn it all in one hit, 1 year. You know, uh, times change. The culture of the car show world changes, and my biggest thing is being able to adapt and understand those changes. You know, as things we did in the early 2000s are not the same thing we do today by any means. And so being able to distinguish and learn to adapt to those changing cultures, that's the big key. And I'm a big one on, I've never been one on a favoritism or anything. You leave all that at the door as soon as you go, grab a clipboard with score sheets and you got to take off to go start knocking down some cars. I don't have time for favoritism. I got too many cars to try to knock down, and I'm judging the car for the work that is done to it. I've said it for 20 plus years. If you put in the work and you put in the effort, and a lot of y'all have heard me say this, if I've said anything to anybody, the cream will always rise to the top once you start getting to a certain point on the builds.
That's facts.
I learned to judge from being a competitor.
That too, yeah.
A lot of people know me for my car, my Miami Hurricane Mobile, the Cane car with all the different names it had, because I was deep in the competition world where I wanted to win every single contest I entered. When you create enemies for whatever reason, and you go to shows and it's shown without a shadow of a doubt that, hey, I didn't win because they don't like me or they dislike who I hang around, it makes you say, damn, I need to learn how to judge so I can be impartial. And the straw that broke the camel's back, ironically, was Nope. Real quick. Nope gives away hundreds of trophies every show. And when I say hundreds, I'm talking 400 or 500, because they cover every single category there is with a car. So my car was in the Mercury category. There was only 2 cars in that category. So only one car would win. They gave away one trophy per 10 entries in a category. That's why they had pallets of trophies. The car that I was going up against was an older car. It was all stock. It had rust. You could see through the door, through the ground. That car beat me. So I went to the owner at the time. He was still living. God bless him, Mark. And I said, hey, I was told I could complain if I felt, I was looked over. Told him what it was. He brought the judge at the time, because they had like 15 judges. He brought the judge in front of me, and the judge said, my decision is final. That's it. I was pissed. So I instantly started judging local shows, helping judge and trying to figure out how I could judge and compete. Finally, I wrecked my car. Competition was over with for me. I went into judging full time, and I would never, I made it my mantra to say, if I judge this show and there's an issue, come to me now. Don't wait and go on the internet later, because it can't be fixed there. If I make a mistake, I can fall on that sword. I will fall on that sword. So all of the negative things that happened to me, I incorporated into what I give now when I judge. So that's my entry into this world.
I have a question for both. I have a question for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
What does your individual score sheets encompass, and how are you judging each car individually?
John?
All right. 5 categories: interior, exterior, chassis, engine bay. Judge's opinion will always break a tie. And it's a 1 to 20 in each category, which gives you 100 points total.
Give me 1 second. Yeah.
Same scoring stuff we've done since 1999. Okay. I've done
You've had the same system since 1999?
Yep.
Care to explain why that hasn't evolved?
Say that again?
Care to explain why that has not evolved?
It's the same principles, because you're doing you're going in and looking at every aspect of the vehicle. Uh, world of wheels, even the SEMA stuff. A lot of those things, they all function off of the same thing. They're touching every aspect of the car. If you ever do any of the I think it's NSCRA, which is the Summit deal where they do the point system as well. Same principles apply. Everything's based off 100 points.
Okay. Skip.
Okay. My categories are engine bay, trunk, interior, exterior, and the rims. I don't do undercarriage. And the reason being is when you go to SEMA and shows like that, those cars are on rotisseries pretty much, where you can see everything. I'm not going to get on the ground, not going to stick my finger in the tailpipe. One of the reasons why I do those categories are those are the ones that everybody touches. I don't care who owns the car. I don't care how much it costs. I'm judging what's in front of me. My score sheet that I give to anybody, to anyone, will show you exactly how you're being judged. That way you can't say, well, why is it this, and this here? It's self-explanatory. So engine bay, interior, trunk, exterior, and the rims. That's it. Cleanliness, inventive ideas, detailed custom parts. Those are the things I judge for each one of those categories. And if your doors are locked, your hood is closed, your trunk is closed, you get a 0. There's no chance of zero.
Okay, I think those are across the board. We've got a lot of questions in the chat, but one of the questions in the chat that people want to know, especially for you, Mr. Callahan, is how do you judge for themed cars?
For theme, I'm always looking for it. How does it flow front to back, and presentation. Very simple.
Where's the points range in that on your sheet, so to speak?
A lot of that will fall mostly on interior and exterior.
Okay.
Chassis doesn't really apply on that because most of these times a theme car is going to be could be something bone stock, but they have done a wrap theme. They've done something where they're using I see stuffed animals and things of that nature a lot, which I look at creativity as well inside that. That really shows me how much time and thought did you put into doing this.
Okay.
So, I mean, piggybacking on that question, do you really separate setup from build? Meaning, because you just mentioned stuffed animals and stuff like that, creativity, that plays a part. But how much separate are the actual setup, which is all of the props and yada, 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 and the physical build?
A lot of times you're not a themed car versus an actual build are usually going to be two different things. They're going to touch a lot more aspects of the car on a build versus a themed car. That's pretty much a given.
I disagree. I disagree completely. A themed car is just the exterior.
A lot of that, yes. Now these days, and I preach this when I'm telling people at the car shows, you can do a themed car, and with what they do with like hydro dipping and things of that nature now, I can put any pattern I want onto a fuel rail cover or an engine cover and have that whole theme that is on the wrap of my car. I can have that in my engine bay now. I can have it on my battery tray cover. I could do the panels that I do in fiberglass in my trunk that are housing my speakers. So those are extra steps that you can do because, technology and things of that nature, have evolved to where we can get really creative with how we place things.
Okay. So is there any compensation in judging for those items for you?
A lot of it will be very, very small, but I mean, I'm looking at it going what somebody places in the car versus a wrap. And then what else did you do? And like I just said, and I noticed it from this past weekend. There was a couple cars that had themed things done inside the engine bay that kept the flow going throughout the whole entire car.
Okay. All right. We have some more questions. How many points do you lose for dents and scratches on the body?
Dents and scratches, usually on the exterior side. I'll usually take, depending on the severity of it, if it's a considerably noticeable dent, you'll get knocked a point or two off of there. It's nothing catastrophic, but at the same token, if it's a dent that could be popped out, why haven't you done it? But if it's a scratch or something of that nature, it could be something as small as a surface scratch. Yes, I'm going to deduct on it, but at the same token, if that particular person's around the car when I'm judging it, because sometimes the people are not, I'll turn around and tell them, hey, go get you some 3,500 or 3,000 grit or 2,500 grit sandpaper and wet sand this, and you can get that scratch out. If you're not fully capable of doing something like that, hey, take it by a body shop. As soon as you tell them 2,500, 3,000 grit, they know what that somebody's educated you to where, hey, you're trying to get that scratch pulled out. Okay, yeah, let's see if we can get it fixed for you.
A lot of questions in the chat. We're trying to keep up.
I missed the question about audio. Queen, what was the question you had about audio? You're muted.
My bad. Mine was not strictly on audio because I'm thinking we're in a new day and age. So I'm just like, why would everybody be on the same score sheet, like an old school build? I just don't feel it should be on the same score sheet as a theme build or an audio build. I don't think those three coincide to be on the same score sheet. So I was just wondering how that.
I had a power outage. I apologize.
You're good.
So I'm just wondering, seeing how to word it. If they're on the same score sheet, audio build that's clean, and old school, and a theme car. So what would be the difference of, as you're going down? Is, you might look at an old school, they might get extra points for this, but a theme car is just as clean. So with that taking away points, maybe I'm just not clarifying the right way, but I just think they should all be on the same score sheet, even if it is 100 points. Though.
You have to look at this. An audio car, those audio cars can get so elaborate on their stuff that that's why we have audio classes that separate them from the group, because a lot of times a walled off car or something of that nature, you can only do so much to that car. If anything, you're going to have exterior, maybe some chassis stuff and an engine bay. The rest of it's going to be set up with speakers. So a lot of times, audio is something that is a whole different beast that's just in my opinion. And I've done the audio for years and years, and that's one of the most difficult ones, because how do you have a level playing field when I've got, a walled off from my driver passenger seat back, even though, dude, there's a ton of prep work there. I cannot stress to y'all, there's so much prep work and bracing those vehicles so they can handle the DBs and things of that nature, that between those audio builds to a regular car show, yes, do they sometimes share the same score sheet? By all means, but I'm also looking at the entire build of the car, which goes back to my 5 categories. And I've always said this for years and years and years, and Skip's heard me say it, the cream will rise to the top when you put in the work. So that's where I look at from there. The audio is a hard one to be able to try to class inside of a car show. That's why they have all those audio classes.
So Skip,
I'm thinking. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Queen.
Oh no, I was just saying. I just wasn't speaking on car audio. I'm just saying you might have a clean car audio build. There are clean car audio builds, that are fully built, and then a theme car, and then an old school and a lifted truck.
They still get judged the same way in
Them being on
all
the
5
same score.
categories.
Yeah.
Skip.
Yeah.
John, you and I are on opposite sides of the street with this. You don't, in my opinion, you cannot judge a theme car and a regular bill differently. And the reason I say that is because the only difference in a theme car and a classic bill car is one has paint, one has a wrap or stickers or decals, right? The interior is done. It might be done in a theme, but it's still just as done as that old school classic bill. So when you say, and I got cut off, but when you say I judge them differently because it's different, the only thing different is the look, the presentation from my point of view. So my judge sheet encompasses all of that. Everything applies. So I get it. And I know where you're coming from with this because we worked together for so long. But I cannot say, I will not say that I judge those cars different because I judge what's in front of me according to the judge sheet. And those numbers will add up, just like one of the questions you were asked, well, if there's a dent. My score sheet, everybody starts with 100 with me. So in the first category, that 20. If there's a dent, you go down to 15 immediately. And then I judge everything else.
I'm with you on that because I knock the dings first and then I start
That's what I'm saying.
scoring.
So no, I heard you say, well, it's according to this. And no. Presentation. That's the judge's job is to find fault. That's it. So that's, without going into this thing into detail too much, that's what I tell people. If I can't find fault, you pretty much got a perfect car, which you and I both know there's fault in everything. So I don't judge cars differently because they look different or because they are different. I judge what's in front of me by the judge sheet, and that will determine the winner.
Okay, so what loses the most points on your score sheet? Both of you.
Good question.
No access to the hood, the trunk, the interior door closed, locked, and not cleaning it. I'm gonna use Hulk because Hulk is a good friend of mine. Y'all, everybody knows Hulk's comic book car. It was super clean, and he got aggravated. Well, I ain't gonna say aggravated. He got arrogant. He would come to a car show, open his doors, and walk off, and I'd walk right by his car. He said, "God, these skip out of place." No, because you didn't wipe it down. I don't care because I know what it looks like. My job is to judge what's in front of me. Yeah, last week you were the best at the show. This week you didn't place. So presentation, cleanliness, and you know, when I'm judging, I don't mind you standing there talking to me about your car because I might miss something. I try not to, but that's my answer to that question.
Okay, but
yeah, I'm with you on that, Skip.
Hang on, John. Before you answer that question, for years, I don't know if you watched Atlanta CarCast. We've been on for a while. But for years, we've been having this judge conversation, specifically with how Skip judges. And for years, I'm not going to say the majority of the community, but it was quite a few people that did not like the way Skip judged. And it took years for us to really deep dive and explain the science in judging for people to get judged differently and to come back around and say, you know what? I do kind of agree with the way Skip judges. So now, if you really had to explain the way you judge, because honestly, you've got some backlash this past week. So how can you defend the way you judge the Project Jasmine show for the people in Beyonce's internet who are saying you did not judge it fairly?
I judge every show the same, literally. I've been doing it so long. I can walk around a car in certain cases in 2 minutes or less, and I can pretty much be dead on my scoring every single time. And so, was there a lot of competition out there and quality builds at the Project Jasmine? Yes. Was a lot of the scoring very tough? You're 100% right. I know the break in my field at the Project Jasmine show, which I kind of thought it was a 70. You had to score 77 or higher to place out there, and I'm all I'm talking about is the top 50. I'm not talking about any specialty awards or any of the awards that they gave out for the Project Jasmine stuff. I'm just talking about the top 50 that you had to have a good quality build that was put together right, that was clean. All your installs were done right, no wires exposed, upgrades through and through. And y'all talk about the chassis stuff, but there's a lot of things that go in that chassis stuff when it comes to brakes, suspension, control arms. Even if you put a car on a full chassis, like an Art Morrison chassis, you're drastically altering how that car drives and things of that nature. So there was a lot that I can tell you from a quality standpoint that was on that property. Because my break in the scoring, when I did 706 day, you had to score an 82 or higher to win there. So that told me the fields were pretty close to each other in terms of quality.
So I have a question. When judging a urban car show with a ton of modern muscle cars, should that even be a qualification?
What do you mean?
If there aren't a ton of classic cars out there, because go ahead.
You judge each car for the work done to it every time. There's
Frame that
no
question
like
in a
just
different way, Skip.
I was gonna say I need you to reword that.
Ms. TJ, it shouldn't apply. You to answer your question, no, it shouldn't apply.
Yeah, to me, it doesn't apply.
But when you lead with it, that's what people think. You just said something about an Art Morrison chassis. That has nothing to do with a car show.
Oh, yeah, it does.
No, sir. No,
yes,
sir.
It does.
Okay, let me make my point now. The reason the Art Morrison chassis has nothing to do with a car show, because we don't know how good that car rides. You know that because you work in that field. So just because it says Art Morrison chassis, that puts him over the top. That's just like somebody saying I got a $10,000 paint job and don't put them over the top. It means you need a chassis done. So again, this is why I say we're on two different sides of the street. One thing I don't like what you just said, I disagree with, is this point system. You saying you got to score this much in order to place.
No, I'm just telling you where the field was broke at to be able to be in the top 50. Yeah, okay. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, the scoring, when I looked at it all from, I think the highest score was a 95 or 96 all the way down in the 40s and 50s. The break in the group to where you got the top 50 was a score of 77 or higher. Same with 706 day was 82 or higher to place at the show.
Now that makes sense, because I thought I assumed you were picking a number, and if they didn't go over that number, then they didn't place. And
right.
I that's why I had to get clarification from that. But go ahead with the questions. I'm sorry,
That was it. So we've got a question on the screen. How does a car with a full setup trunk get beat by a car full of teddy bears in the trunk that's not done? Both of you.
You want to go first because you judged it?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's two different cars. It could have been the theme car versus a car with only a trunk done. I mean, there's more work possibly in the theme car. The placement could have been a display. I mean, there's a lot of variables. That's a very vague kind of question to go, well, a car with just a trunk done versus a whole themed car. That's a big difference.
I know the teddy bear car they're talking about. Who asked that question, Miss TJ, so I can get an idea?
Here it is.
Okay. How does a car with a full setup trunk get beat by a car full of teddy bears in the trunk that's not done? The car they're talking about in particular, I don't know whose it was, but they had a bunch of small teddy bears in it.
The only one I can think of is like the Tweety Bird one, that yellow one.
And I hate the call. I don't want to point nobody out.
Or Looney Tunes is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that one had it in there, and then the Mustang that had the fabric on the car.
Oh yeah. I know which one you're talking about, the black one.
Okay, so I'm assuming it's one of those two cars. Now the question said, how does a car with a full complete trunk done get beat out by one of those two cars? Because those are the only two that I can remember that had teddy bears in the trunk.
And it could be a general question as well.
Yeah. And I can't remember. I think the one Mustang got a top 50, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have all the sheets in front of me, and I think I gave the theme award to that Tweety Bird car. So, it's like comparing apples to oranges. If you're saying one beat out the other, well, I couldn't tell you that because both of them won something.
And to be fair, Project Jasmine, do we have a final car count for that show? And why you go ahead.
Hold on one second.
And the secondary question is, when you have shows with he wasn't the only judge, and that's fair to John. But I got a lot of questions. When you have multiple judges, is there a prime judge that overrides the second judge, or every judge is equal? And if that judge picks that car, does that stand? Like, how does this? People really, really are infatuated with figuring out how this shit works. Because maybe you didn't judge that car with the teddy bears in the trunk. Maybe the other person did. Like, what really? Like, people really want to know what happens.
A lot of times, whether it be like at the Project Jasmine show and stuff like that, when we would drop off papers for the girls to put them in numerical sequence for us, getting our top 50 done. But every time we've done anything on the specialties, it's usually a consensus. If I've got 1, 2, 3 judges, then all of us are usually almost 99% of the time are in agreement on when we're going through that specialty list. And it can be anywhere from, it can be from 10 to 25 or 30 specialty awards, but 3 heads are better than one. If that one judge says, hey, I think this one's probably going to be the best on it, Skip, you know it because I've come to you before. Hey, are we all in agreement that this car should win this on the specialty awards? And when I've got more than one judge all agreeing, I know I've got confidence in what was being decided.
One thing
I've done that tons of times.
One thing I always say, and I learned this at Nopi in my beginning years there judging cars. Nopi would have between 10 to 20 different judges because we had thousands of cars into the show. If all the judges don't look at the cars through the same lens, you're always going to have a different outcome.
That's right.
I tell people this all the time. If I have somebody judging with me, it'll be this lady right here. Not because I taught her, but because I taught her and she understands now how to judge with that judge sheet. I don't know the young man that judged with you, so this is not disparaging him, but this is to say, if you and him view the same, can judge the same car differently, y'all are not on the same page.
That's right.
You can ask.
That's why you go back. Yeah, you go back and spot check.
Okay.
I do that multiple times. The reason why I'll go score a car, go back, grab another judge. Hey, humor me here. I want you to score this car and make sure we're on the same page. A lot of times, any event, and it doesn't matter just this past weekend, it could be multiple other events. I'll go back and spot check these things and go, hey, I spot checked 20 cars at this event out of 200, and all the scoring was the same. That way I know I have consistency. Because if I see something where we're off on consistency, I got to fix it because that can create a downward spiral that's catastrophic. Everybody's got to be on the same page.
So the general consensus in our chat is really about theme cars. We have a lot of questions about how theme cars were judged very specifically at this show, especially in light of top theme. So here's one question. If you have a fully customized theme car built from front to back, explain how a car like that doesn't place at a show. How do you assess a car like Tweety Bird, which we saw, but there were many other themed cars that had full trunk builds, full engine builds, that would have been real comparable to winning top theme, in my opinion, as a judge. So how do you judge that?
The theme car, I mean, it's like you're singling out one particular thing. the theme cars are always probably one of the more difficult ones because it all goes back to, what are they trying to do? Are they trying to have a flow and things of that nature? It could be, and or things that are extra stuff that is done to the car. If car had a motor swap or a built motor, I go back into my suspension stuff. If it had, upper lower control arms, if it's riding on coilovers, it gives it a better stance. There's all kinds of still little variables that go into that. So that's a tough one to really pinpoint, other than me going and judging that car the same way I do the other ones. Simple as that.
Are you saying that? Because I think that what I said before about modern muscle cars and the urban car community is just really not the same. I don't think you can judge those the same.
It's the same. I mean, all that has aftermarket and stuff available for those things, especially you go modern muscle.
There. So how can you judge it if it's not there? You got to judge what's there.
I know that. But I'll also take the time and say, hey, just so you're aware, if you need, put long tube headers on this, put you a set of springs on it, give it a better stance. If you've done big wheels, hey, you need to address your brakes. Anytime you put these big wheels on the car, y'all don't understand some of the mechanical things that come into the equation with brake boosters, the whole 9 yards. And that right there shows me you have an understanding of the work that you're doing. Well, now you need to apply it so you can stop better and it's safe. Versus, I just threw them on and took off.
I think Skip is raising his hand like an 8th grader. Go ahead.
The first thing I said was, judges need to take that bias and put it in their pocket. Now, before I say what I'm going to say, John, you are my friend. I've been knowing you for a decade or more now, at least 15 years. That's bullshit.
No.
You cannot, as a judge, you should not tell people you need coilovers, you need brake boosters. You judge it.
No.
So listen, let me finish. I'll let you finish. It's not your job to tell them what they missed about long tube headers, none of that stuff. When I go to judge a car, if there's a flaw, I notate it and I keep it moving.
Well, hold on. Is there a difference between cosmetic and performance? I think John is trying to say that's for performance.
Well, no, I'm just using that as an example.
But that's performance based. Am I right?
What they should have done. I mean, you have in your mind, everybody can look at somebody's car and say, well, you should have did this, you should have did that. That's not what we're judging right there.
Or think of this. I don't make these suggestions unless you ask me, what can I do better? And I'll tell you that. Unless you ask me, I don't say nothing. But if they'll turn around, hey, man, what are some other things I can do to this? Well, if it's things I've dealt with or I'm aware of, I'll tell you and say, hey, go look it up online and then see what you want to do. But I'm just throwing little things out that get asked to me quite often at shows of what can I do to do better. And I'll tell them, hey, you're moving right along in this area, but you haven't touched anything in your engine bay or you haven't done anything in your trunk. Maybe take a look around the property and get you some ideas on the way some of these trunks were designed, and then go to an audio shop, or if you know how to build it, have at it, but you need to, that would help you along the way. It's no one particular thing, but I also don't voluntarily give the information unless usually I'm asked.
There's another question that was posed, and I'm going to answer that question before you even answer it, because I don't want it to spiral into something that's not. The question was, how can a car on a trailer with no engine beat a car that's wide open, presented, doors, trunks, everything else? How can it place in a car that was on the ground not place? How in the world did you even judge that car on the trailer? That was a question posed to you. Well, it was actually posed to the wrong person, so I'm directing it to you.
That could have been something, if what I'm thinking it is, it could have been something as simple as the Donk Award. So you can't, y'all are trying to say, well, somebody beats the other person. No, if that car didn't win the top 50, but I had two cars just like yours, Skip, on the Mercury, that I had one that, let's just say it was painted or something of that nature, and the paint's flaking, all kinds of stuff, needs to be worked on that car. And let's just say a car didn't have, for some odd reason, didn't have an engine in it, but it had, brake upgrades. It had an interior done, the trunk's done, little things like that. Yes, where he lost out on one end, he picked up on the other. But a lot of that, you're trying to say like, well, that car beat the other one. Well, it did when there was only 2 cars competing on a specialty award.
Whoa. We got to pump the brakes. For the public that does not know, unless I'm wrong, if you trailer a vehicle to a modern car show in this era and you do not untrailer it, it is now void. I thought that was a rule. Am I wrong?
I've never had it.
In my shows, it wasn't a rule, but I'm not getting on the trailer to judge it. So
yeah, same here.
I
better be able to see it.
If you want it judged, it needs to come off that trailer in order for it to even win. I don't care if it's Rick Ross' car. Bring it off the trailer.
That's a disqualification.
That's what I do. Now I'm not speaking for him. I'm just telling you what happens.
And that's the case in certain cases like that. I'll defer that back to the promoter. How do you want me to handle this?
And then honestly, to me, that's just fucking lazy.
True, 100% right. Yeah, that's like showing up and not cleaning your car or not wiping down your engine bay, and you automatically assume, or you're in your head, well, I'm going to win regardless. Why wipe it down? Well, you didn't even put any effort in it.
But John, this is one of the cars that you judge or y'all judge that apparently won versus a car that was untrailered. Did we lose him? Oh, it got too hot in here. Wait a minute.
One thing.
Oh, there he is. Hey, he came back.
I didn't want this to be a John Bass session.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, don't try to single me out because
no. I thought you were gone, so I'm saying this now. You hear? I want you to hear it. I definitely didn't want it to be a John Bass session, but what I've done in these last 20 years here in this scene and abroad is made people understand how I judge, why I judge, and I showed them what I do. So with you coming in, doing it your way, and this is the first time they get to hear it, you're going to get all these questions.
Skip, you know my way. You've been doing it with me for 10 plus years. You did it when I had used you at Nopi. It's the same thing. I've done it the same way for that so long. You already know that.
John, don't get emotional. That may be.
I'm not, but I'm stating facts. Skip knows it. Skip's followed that same principle of what I did.
Exactly.
No, the fact is, if a trailered vehicle comes to a show, unless you untrailer it, we do not know if that vehicle runs.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you on that. A lot of times, if I can see it to judge it, I'll do it.
That vehicle should be judged differently.
It's a half and half. I couldn't say 100% one way or the other, because if I can see inside that vehicle and stuff without having to necessarily hop up on the trailer, then I can see everything I need to see. I can tell if they don't have tinted windows. I can see, oh, hey, did he vacuum the car out? Does his interior done? The only thing I can't see is maybe what's under the hood. Well, when they don't have it opened, then I can consider it, well, that's just a stock engine underneath that hood. I can't tell any different, so I'll score it accordingly. Hence the reason I preach, have everything open. We need to see everything.
One of the
questions.
Was the
doors open on that vehicle that was on the trailer? I'm just asking because I wasn't paying attention, so was the doors open on the vehicle?
Not that I saw.
No.
So, like I said, we're not on so you can't tell if it's vacuumed. It may be dirty. It may be trash.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. If the windows aren't tinted, I can see inside there. I mean, you can see the floor mats. You can see everything to find out if it's been.
Oh, so you're saying you get on the trailer. Got it. Okay. No, I didn't. Okay, but Skip, the one that you got on the screen, I just need to know that. My question that's on the screen. I just need to know how the flow is
going. No, they don't. I can answer that question. They do not judge all the same cars and then compare it in. They'll meet from judging. And that's why I said when you have two different sets of eyes, you can't be sure that the judging was done to your standard or, in my case, to his standard. You get what I'm saying? So one of the prearranged questions we had was, should judging standards be more transparent to participants and spectators? How can we ensure? Oh, I'm sorry, that's two questions. Should the judging standards be more transparent to the participants and the spectators?
I always feel yes. Because I mean, I tell them ahead of time, hey, we're going to judge you based off of these 5 categories on a point scale of 100 points. Be ready. I've told you everything we're going to look at.
Okay. One of the things I did years ago, and I still do it to this day, to prevent that from happening, is when they come through the gate, they get the judge sheet. That way they can look at the judge sheet and see exactly what's going to be judged. You get what I'm saying? And then when I come around, I take that same sheet and I judge that car and I put it on my clipboard and I go. This helps the transparency aspect of it.
Yeah, because you can check it on the backside.
No, I'm going to check it in front of them. Now, they won't see my scores, but I'm going to judge it in front of them with that criteria that they had enough time to see, clean up, wipe down, get prepared to show or whatever. And that question, being transparent, helps them understand what you're doing. So if they lose, they can say, well, hey, can you show me why I lost?
Mm-hmm. Then you pull the sheet out and go, well, your shortcomings were in X, Y, and Z areas.
Even if I have the dramatic ones that say, how his car beat my car. In certain cases, I'll go get their judge sheet and then I'll go by their car and say, look, he had this, you didn't. She had this, you didn't. Blah, 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 blah. This is why you lost. And you know what that does? It humbles them and it shows them, well, damn, he didn't cheat me. He's
That's
not
right.
You see, so the question, should the standards be more transparent? Yes, 100%. They should be, so we don't have this kind of stuff happening. It took me a long time to get to this point because I try to teach people what I do for free for years. And this lady right over here said, won't you charge them? Like, well, how am I charge somebody? They didn't want it for free.
No, I want to spread the knowledge.
As soon as I put a price on it, we had 15 people sign up. Oh, I want to learn. Well, why do you want to learn for free? So I get it, but how can we ensure that judging remains fair, consistent, and unbiased? And that's for anybody.
Well, I mean, you just have to have, hold on, I'm not saying you just have to have. The person has to look within themselves. You have to take personal feelings out of it. Yeah, I might not like that person, but that doesn't take away from the build. And many people let that cloud their judgments. Like, I'm not cool with them, so I might want this. But like you said, there's no transparency, so they don't know. I'm not gonna want this, but I don't like them, and so I'm gonna go off on this, not want this. So even if another judge looks at it, they may not know that you don't like them, but guess what? You're looking at the sheet. You just have to have that honesty within yourself.
Yeah.
And that's going to be hard. People put on the front. That's very hard because they're going to, I'm fair, I'm unbiased, and,
Right. Let me say this. I think Skip is more so at an advantage in a lot of cases because he is a judge and he also makes trophies. Okay. So nobody knows what these shows are going to become. And I mean, year after year, season after season, a lot of people jump out the window and they want to throw car shows, right? Project Jasmine has ballooned, and I don't know if he got the car count, but I know it was well over 200 cars at that event, right?
I think so.
So, with that being said, when you go to a person like Skip, who is also a judge and he makes trophies, and you say, I'm doing this car show and I'm going to have all of these categories and all of this stuff, Skip can give you free consultation as to that might not be a good idea. Like if you're having a top 10 and a top 50 and Skip was making all of your trophies and you had that conversation with, these are the trophies I want to do. I want to do a top 10 and a top 50. A lot of people was against that. So I don't know if John has that type of expertise or if you guys get your judges involved when you're creating the categories. But my question is, how involved are all of these entities when it comes to throwing shows?
Skip can tell you. Yeah, the a lot of that with him doing the awards and stuff like that. I'll tell you, I've done, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of cars through the shows over the years, and you have to not necessarily minimize. You have to have a good mixture based off of what you and a lot of this is all assumptions based off of what you think your car count is going to be. When we did Nopi Nationals out there in Myrtle Beach, I had 2,000 vehicles. I gave away a top 30 and like 15 specialty awards. That's it. And I gave one best of show away, and that's it. A trophy guy can chime in and say, hey, you might not have enough, or I'll have some extras, versus hey, you're oversaturating it to where you're giving out too many awards. It could be something along those lines.
Right. So Project Jasmine, and I love you guys to death. Whose idea was it to have a top 10 and a top 50? Just explain it to me. I wasn't there. I don't know.
It was my idea.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because really, to tell you the truth, I want to give everybody a trophy, really, but I know I couldn't do that. It wouldn't be the car show. But the reason for me doing that is because I want to do a top 50 and then a top 10. The top 10 is like the top cars out there. Like he said, it was a lot of good cars out there the weekend. But I know I had too many awards for number one, but I'm definitely gonna cut the awards down for next year also.
By me just reading the awards, I got a little sidetracked and confused because I think there was a miscommunication between you and John about the different levels of the awards, because if I'm hearing you correctly, the top 10 should have been the 10 best cars.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't have won a top 50.
Right. That's my next question.
So that's why I think there was a miscommunication there, because there was people that won multiple. And to rehash what Mr. just said, if I'm making your trophies and you say, hey, I want this and I want this, having the knowledge I have of car shows, I'd be like, I don't think you should do that. Now, yes, it's taking money out of my pocket, but it's gonna make the car show flow better, and you won't have the issues that we're having now, or the gripes that we're having now, so to speak. But Original Kings put a question up, and I watched the podcast that he was on Monday, and I heard him say this, and I'm glad he asked this question. It says, how can judges be fair, biased, and consistent? I think car show judging has reached a point where formal training and certification should be seriously considered, just like referees and officials in sports such as football, baseball, and receive training to understand the rules and make consistent calls. Car show judges should be properly educated before being placed in a position to evaluate someone's bill. Judges should understand the different categories they are assigned to judge: paint, rims, interior, etc. Now, when I saw you on that podcast, the other podcast Monday night, I saw it after the fact anyway, but you made that statement, and I disagree with it. I agree with it, and I disagree with it. One judge can do all of that, but that judge needs to be versed. Again, if you have a judge that likes paint, he can't judge cars with wrap. If you have a judge that likes decals and thing, then always just paint. I don't care because it costs $10,000. And when you have 5 separate judges to judge each category, everything is going to look different. That's why I'm not a professional. I consider myself right up there with them.
Me neither.
So I can't go to and judge and stand and prove. Everybody makes mistakes. So if people come to these shows with these $100,000 cars, with these $2,000 cars, and they expect perfection, they're not going to get it. You get what I'm saying? You can't go to a show of Project Jasmine size or a show like what I do at the rings and expect to have top-notch everything, and your car is not top-notch. I've only seen maybe 1 or 2 perfect cars, and those were all AI.
Huh.
That's it. So when people, I tell everybody this, and we can keep it moving after this. When you build your car, of course you think your car is the bomb. Everybody should think that way. When you enter a show, you enter to win. Miss TJ asked a question earlier. Is the competition aspect overruling what the car show is about? Yes. If you don't want it to be competition, don't make it a show. Make it an event about the organization or about the drive or whatever the case may be. But when you take a car show and then you add a cause to it, you can't say, well, why are they so competitive? That's why we entered. We entered the support, but we also entered to win. I didn't build my car just to show it, because if I did, I wouldn't have entered it.
But how do we make that work? Because, and we're going to pivot a little bit here, because I think that in this case, particularly, the cause was really why we came.
Right.
That's correct.
100%.
The cause is what we were there to support. The cause is what drew. I have a list, and I should have did this earlier, of all the people from all the states that came: Virginia, Ohio, Delaware, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, the DMV, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Texas, Florida. People came from all over, and the common denominator was the cause. But there was so much outrage about the trophies and the judging. And I would like to really discuss for a moment, how can we become more focused about, when we attend a car show that has a cause, actually paying attention to the cause and not being so aggressively overzealous about the competition aspect? Is there an answer to that?
It'll never happen. It'll never happen because it's still a car show. And these folks are bred to be competitive. I don't care what the cause is. It doesn't matter. These are very, very competitive people, and they've been competing, and a high percentage at this point have been competing at a high level for a very long time. So they're going to support your show because it's a cause attached to it, and it's a great cause and not a fake cause like in years past. Project Jasmine is real. So now it's a doubly bubbly. I'm doing a great thing and I'm competing. Period. It's never going to change.
So what message are we sending to newcomers that see winning becoming the primary focus? Think about, there's a couple of people particularly who came from Atlanta who literally just got their cars done a week ago, who felt a little slighted. I'm just going to say it. They felt a little slighted. Brand new wraps, interior, trunk builds done, and they won nothing. So how do we get newcomers? I don't know. How do we bridge that gap? That's basically the question I'm trying to ask.
The first thing is I say it all the time: know your audience. Anybody that's anybody, they knew that this was not going to be an entry-level show, a small level show. They should have known it was going to be 150 plus cars there. The way we talked about it, the way the video hyped it up, we've been talking about it for 9 months now. So do the local shows, get your feet in the water. Just like they tell you when you learn to swim, stick your feet in the water. You know, don't just jump in the pool full-fledged because you know how to swim. You get what I'm saying? So that's one thing. And the other thing is, somebody said we need to just take the trophies and the judging away. But then it's not a car show. Then it's an event. You get what I'm saying? And people will come just to be there versus bringing their show cars out to hang out, so to speak. But yeah, to answer that question, Ms. TJ, it's just that don't always expect to win. Know your audience. And when you go to any car show where there's 300-400 cars, 200-300 cars, or more than 20, more than 30, your chances go down tremendously, regardless of who you are, of winning. Because number one, you don't know how many awards they're giving away. You get what I'm saying? Because if they're only giving away a top 20 and it's 250 cars, there's been a lot of upset people out there. You get what I'm saying? So know your audience. Get your feet wet. Go ahead.
So what I was about to say is also, like you already touched on it. You said don't come there expecting to win. And I'm just not taking anything from anybody, okay? But I think when the mindset of when you see 150 plus trophies, you know, some people's mindset go to, hey, I know I got something. You know what I'm saying? So I don't go there expecting to win because you just never know the outcome. Again, never going on the judges, but you just can't go to a show expecting to win because you see so many trophies. Like, well, they're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. You know, you just never know the outcome. But some people will feel entitled. Okay, so to the people that travel, you know that you may win in your home state, and you go out of state, and it's a different story. You know, so you just have to be prepared for that as well, especially even with correct judging or whatever.
So another one, as we're digesting this great show, how does a car that pulled up 1 hour before the show ends get judged? Now, this is not just for Project Jasmine. This literally happens a lot.
all the time.
This happens all the time. And everybody always talks about the homeboy hookup and blah, 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 blah. As long as you show up, judging, y'all know a lot of shows, they judge and stops at this time and blah, 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 blah. All right. What's the answer to this question, guys?
That goes back to the promoter.
No,
where's the cutoff?
You're deferring to the promoter. That's what John's saying.
Miscommunication. This happened at Project Jasmine show. I was actually giving out the awards, and a guy walked up and said, "Hey man, my car ain't good judge. I just got here." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Now the miscommunication came in, and I can say this because he was told at the gate judging, or it said on the flyer, judging started at 5:30. We were giving out awards 5:36. So when he got there, they judged him and gave him a sheet. So yeah, he expected to be judged. So miscommunication between the gate, what was actually going on, and everything else. I
always happens at the gate, though. Like, have radios at the gate. Like, hey, whoever comes in after this time, let them know you can come in, but you won't be judged.
That's 100% right.
Miscommunication.
You know, radios or whatever, like you said, miscommunication. But I've been to plenty of shows.
John, this is a big question. This is a big question. Since we had a lot of awards, Ms. Creel asked the question: how can one car, one person walk away with 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 trophies? How's that happen?
When you got 200 plus cars.
Depends on criteria, what that person filled, on that special. It could be a specialty award. A lot of times that doesn't happen. Like I'll use 706 Day. Some guys won 1 or 2 or 3 awards at most, no more than that. That could have, the Project Jasmine was a little different because he had, Morris had Mr. Grant had a whole separate group of, particular awards that were focused around that show. And so if a person won something in the top 50 and won 2 specialties, but then won 3 of these prestigious awards, that's where some of that comes into the equation.
Gotcha.
And some of those, I never picked any of those winners or anything of the nature. Hence, we set a dedicated judge for that group of winners.
So I'd like to just kind of make a suggestion to Project Jasmine for next year. A couple of things that I probably would have done from a programming aspect is people like Ron, who is retiring his Corvette. I would have got all his trophies together at one time and presented him with everything at once and made one large demonstration for him, as opposed to having him come up 8, 9, 10 times. I think that was a little disconnected and it was confusing. And if you weren't really thinking about what the awards were for specifically, it kind of seemed a little overkill, you know. I also probably would have done some of those special tributes earlier in the day, so they wouldn't have been a part of the regular award ceremony. Because when people were getting multiple trophies, one thing didn't have anything to do with the other. Some people were sponsors, some people were people that you guys just wanted to acknowledge, some people were, there were all these different things. And because, again, it was a lot of repetition, it didn't seem, it may have been unclear to people why that was happening that way, and people walked away with multiple trophies when those were designated things that you were going to do anyway. So that's just a little feedback that I have for you guys when you think about planning it next year. I'm not saying don't commend the people that support you. By all means, absolutely do. But the way that you do it will impact how people receive it. You know what I mean? And because it was so long, it was a 2-hour period of time we gave out tokens, and people started standing and they ended sitting. That's how long it was. So, that's just a little bit of critique that I have. We do have one comment from the chat. What specific changes are going to be made so that these same problems don't happen again?
Well, next year matter of fact, we in the process now of changing everything. We're gonna do a lot of restructuring for the trophy part, whatever. And like I say, next year gonna be the new Project Jasmine next year. So everyone, I would like for everyone to come back out next year and see what's gonna happen. It'll be totally different next year with brand new.
Okay.
I feel
a lot of changes.
Let me add this, and I might get some backlash for this, but I don't care. This is a perfect example of how this show could have went one way if we would have did something that everybody in the past has said that they disagree with, and that is a la carte shows. If a person pulls up with their trailer or their mod or their builder with their car or whatever, and they're saying, here are the categories. These categories cost X amount of dollars to compete in. Boom, boom, boom. We got a sound competition. You think you can win? You pay this. You got this. You got big rims. You got paint. You got wrap. You pay this amount. You compete in all these categories. You pull in. Boom. You lose all them categories. You just lost. As opposed to now not knowing what you're going to get until the end. And then you leave butthurt. If Project Jasmine 2026 would have been category based and everybody would have paid a la carte for all those categories and they would have lost, they would have left and we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Because they had enough trophies to front that structure. Am I lying?
Well, to me, you get in a
John. I want to hear from John first.
To me, it depends on how you like your pricing. Because if somebody goes in and wants to compete in all those classes, and let's just say you charge the base rate to get, you charge the base rate to get in. I feel like in some cases you're buying a victory in some cases because there might only be 2 cars, 1 car, but also you're driving the price.
Anyway?
You're driving up the price. You're driving up the price of the entry fee.
That's
no,
that's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. They do that in car audio, like with classes and Mecca and
yeah, right. She's right on that. Yeah.
Not car shows. You're not going to pay for a class because you might feel you have best interior. You might feel you have best paint. On top of you already paid $50 to get in the show, and then I might have best wheels. I might have
no. See, that's where we defer. I ain't saying it's $50 and then XYZ. I'm saying it's X amount for each category. So you just
give us an example then, because just
I don't know what the price is. $2.
Okay.
$2 car audio.
They pay
$2 paint.
Oh, hold on. They pay a base fee. Let's just hypothetical say $20, and then each category costs $5. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying get rid of the base fee and do it all a la carte per category. However many categories you choose, that's what you pay.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
I would
hard.
never do it.
That goes back. You have to think about the cost structure for the promoter putting
Somebody
on the
said that's
show.
gay.
If he had $5,000 that it cost him to rent the grounds, and even with every car that came in there trying to do an a la carte, he might have only generated $3,500. He went in the hole. Why is he going to put on another show if he knows he's going to go in the hole in that scenario?
But is it fair? Is it fair for somebody like a Queen Kong who specializes in audio? She does have a car show car, but let's take somebody else that only specializes in audio. They really be paying the same fee as everybody else, and then you give out 250 fucking trophies and they don't win shit?
I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of
why
it.
not? Like, hold on, hell no. I don't come to compete. So I've seen that on the car audio side when they were like, hey, well, I'm just coming to demo, so I should pay cheaper. Okay, you still coming to park too.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Look, I pay the same price, whether I'm coming to demo or to, I don't know, but I'm still paying the same price. That's the partial. You know, like Skip say, know your audience. You know this is a
Yeah.
car show, not a car audio show. So you're gonna pay what the entry fee is.
There's a reason you don't or you can't do a la carte. Monetarily, you get my car. My truck is completely stopped, but I got 40s on it, and I want to enter the rim, so I pay $5.
Yep.
But then a car like Queen Combs, who has rims, paint, interior, music, engine bay, she has to pay for each one of those categories to be judged against, say, a Dunk Master's car or somebody's car who has
I'm not a mathematician, but all of the best in show bills in that top 10 and that top 50, if they would have chose all of the categories, would that not equate to what the interest fee was?
No.
Miss TJ, am I stupid?
No, but
I'm math wrong?
I'm not saying that you're stupid, but I don't necessarily think that that's the best way to.
I didn't
put on-
say it was the best way, but that would explain what happened.
I do think that you can't judge every show, or you can't necessarily use the same framework with every show and every particular type of car. I do not think what Mr. Callahan uses to judge his format from 1999 works with modern muscle cars in an urban community. I don't think that it necessarily translates well as per the feedback. So I would take a look at that if I were him and he were going to continue to judge these type of shows. So, I mean, that's just my personal feedback.
I have a half a million cars that would say otherwise, because that's what we did for so many years, and we ran the same thing. And those muscle cars were all included in the Nopi Nationals.
Okay. But there's a ton of complaints at a lot of shows that you judge.
Yeah. Then, everything, almost everything can be opinion based now. In all reality, it creates dialogue. One person, might be on an ego trip versus one who's actually really trying to actually learn and do hands-on and learn a particular craft and want to know to better themselves. So right there, now it's opinion based. It's and you can twist this any way you want to shake a stick at it. And I've been in all these scenarios before. I've done this, longer than pretty much most of the people that I know. And the one constant I can tell you is that same format has worked every single place. I've done them in Atlanta. I've done them all over the United States.
John?
And I mean, I understand that. I wouldn't say that because I was at 706 Day as well. And when we're speaking on Project Jasmine, a couple of people won 3, 4, 5. Let me tell you something. Marty won a couple of awards. And the only reason that I had to look back in the video and see who Marty was after I went to his show in Atlanta, and I looked back at the video, he won a couple of awards. So I think their main thing when everybody is, the real question is, okay, nobody's going to say it, I'm going to say it. It's nothing crazy. So how can someone win top 50, top 10, best interior, queen of show. So they're
In certain cases, if y'all want to use Marty as an example, I can tell you right off the bat, I've built those cars before. That there's $300,000 in that car.
Specifically talking about Marty, we're talking about Project Jasmine show. They had one individual. We're just saying, like, what is the point of the judging if everybody doesn't come together if you're not judging the same cars? How can the same person that won Queen of Show, Best Interior, Top 50, Top 10, one person?
Yeah, that falls back to the way the classes were set up.
Show, if you already have Queen of Show, why are you winning Top 50 and Top 10?
Yeah, now I will say this, Skip knows this. Anytime I had Best of Show, and not King or Queen of the Show, because that's new in my world, but when I had one overall Best of Show, that Best of Show could not compete for anything else. No specialties, no nothing.
It's not being judged. Yeah, they cannot compete. Like, I'm gonna check top 50, top 10. They have to be judged that way.
Okay.
So let's clear this up. Hold on, Skip. So that what I think, I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm on both sides. I think John deferred to Project Jasmine, and some of those decisions was made by Project Jasmine. Were they not? Let's just clear it up.
Well, he talked about some very specific things. There were you weren't there. There were a lot of things that were predetermined. Those didn't have anything to do with the judging aspect. That's where the award ceremony kind of got, it kind of got long, because there were many commendation awards that had nothing to do with the top 50, top 10, the best.
That's right.
That was all judged. Everything else were things that were already selected.
That's still deferring. That's still deferring to Project Jasmine, and that's not on John. Correct.
Right.
Yeah. Hence the reason all those specialty awards. I told him, you get a separate judge to handle those. I'm going to handle the regular car show.
Okay.
No, I'm not talking about the specialty. I'm talking about the specialty awards. I'm talking about how one person can win 50, top 10, best interior, queen of show. If you already it should have been no top 10 or 50.
That can go back to the promoter or me, myself having a conversation. Hey, if you're going to win the top 10, you're also in the top 50. So do I need to separate my top 10 scores, pull those guys to the side, and then take the next 50 down the row and go 10 deeper into my scoring system? Because if that was the case, then I would go, okay.
70s would have won.
Bingo. Right. I went deeper in the field.
And I said this in the beginning to Mr. Gant, that his understanding was the top 10 were going to be the best 10 cars and then the top 50. But the miscommunication happened because I guess it wasn't relayed to John, because people won the top 10 and all of the top 10 were in the top 50, and they shouldn't have been, which that's an oversight. But one of the things, a lot of the stuff you just said is why I give this judge sheet out.
Also, too, I'm a big one. Consolidate the awards. Unless you get into thousands of cars, you don't have to go that many deep, because then you're pulling out the best of the best out of the group.
Okay. Well, let's pivot. Let's pivot, because we could talk all day about this and just the judging what happened, things like that. And the goal tonight wasn't to gang up on you, John. It wasn't to beat a dead horse about this event, because there were so many positives from the event. So many positives.
Everybody overlooked the most important thing out of the whole thing: bringing awareness to domestic violence and making it the forefront, more so than the car show, more so than the awards. There could have been somebody on that property who had been dealt with a domestic violence issue and never talked about it, but being out there and hearing other people talk about it, it made them feel more comfortable about it in a bad scenario that they had to live through. That's the important part.
Exactly. And that's where we came to the questions that I asked earlier about encouraging enthusiasts to value, service, relationships over a little bit of recognition. I think that that's important. I think that, but what we've talked about here is that if we're going to continue to combine a cause with a car show, there's still going to be some competition, and we can't circumvent that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a town hall meeting, and I'm going to bring somebody to the stage. I hope we got some hand claps ready for him. Miss Kim Possible is in the building joining the town hall.
How y'all doing tonight?
How you doing?
How are you?
I just, oh my gosh, just so much going on. I know y'all been talking a lot about the judging, but I just want to come on real quick and interject some of the other things outside of the judging as a participant that I felt off. I'm trying to find my wording, y'all, because I don't want to offend anybody. But I just want to say last year's experience was totally different than this year's experience as a participant. Coming from out of state, coming down to support the show. And yeah, I just wanted to interject that and just see if we could get some feedback from Mr. Gant in terms of the actual way the show was ran outside of the judging. I think y'all have covered the judging, and I know y'all will continue to do that. That's out of my skill set. But just as a participant, it really felt disorganized this year. It was just it just felt a lot of things fell through the cracks, in my opinion.
Miss Jackie, you want me to speak to that?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Okay. So post show, Miss Jackie and I had a conversation, and unbeknownst to any of us, Miss Jackie's brother became ill. He overheated, passed out. Ambulance had to be called. He was taken to the hospital where he was, kept. He's got some upcoming appointments, and there was some issues there that they didn't know about that they're now aware of that are being taken care of. So as a person who's thrown an event, you can imagine that a medical emergency, especially of a loved one, kind of disrupts the entire flow. So I'm sure that Miss Jackie had plans to make rounds and to be a little bit more communicative. But when that happened, it kind of disrupted everything. So I would like to say that, we didn't know. And to those of us who may have felt, any kind of way that the vibe was a little off just in terms of the communication, that was definitely the reason why. So I think that's the answer that we were all kind of looking for. Is there anything else, Kim?
Well, of course, my heart go out to your family. I was not aware that there was an emergency. Even with that being said, again, my heart go out to you guys for that. So we're not going to beat a dead horse. Mr. Gant said earlier, come back next year. He already knows that there are some things that he wants to work on. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and say that. And yeah.
Okay. Was that it?
Hold on one second. What's that, Rod? Oh no, we good. Yes, that's it, Tia.
Okay. Thank you, Kim.
All right.
There's a question in the chat. It says, how y'all let that woman bully that nice lady out of the award? Let me answer that question. She wasn't bullied out of the award. When I gave I think it was a Phoenix Award. Am I correct, Miss E? Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
I was handed the Phoenix Award with Alyssa, is the young lady's name, as the winner. Unbeknownst to me, and this is part of where Mr. Gant had to go take care of his family, he was told by the person who purchased the award, I want this person to win. But since he was off handling the emergency, the lines were crossed. The right people who had the award weren't told, hey, this award goes to such and such, and the paper was handed to me, which is why I said I made the mistake of calling the wrong person out. Now, I didn't know about the emergency going on, but I called out what was gave to me. The lady herself called back and got in contact with Miss Alyssa, sent her a text message and let her know, hey, I apologize, but this is what it was supposed to be. Alyssa came to me first, if you guys were paying attention, and said, hey, look, I got a text. I was like, I already know. Let me take care of it. And then the other young lady came up who had also received the text. That's why I did what I did at the awards, explaining to you guys that the mistake was partially my fault and partially a miscommunication behind me. So it wouldn't be any backlash about that. So she was not bullied out of that award. She was gracious and friendly enough to say, you know what? It wasn't for me. Here you go. Let's give it to the proper person. So I hope that answers that question or that statement.
I do want to say, I would like to give a super shout out to Miss Alyssa. She handled that with so much grace. I really love her character and the way that she handled, giving the award back to Rosalind. So I just wanted to let her know that we appreciate her as a good steward and just an amazing person. So, yeah.
The other part is if you don't throw car shows. One second. If you don't throw car shows and you've never thrown a car show, this happens way more than you think.
For sure.
Way more.
Yeah.
But that's what I was saying. It has to go about character. I went to a car show that I did not enter. And, later on, they was like, hey, Queen of the Show goes to, well, they came and put it by the car. We got the Queen of the Show trophy. Well, I didn't enter.
Oh yeah. I've been a fly on the wall. I've been a fly on the wall where I seen the wrong big trophy go to somebody, and the people who threw the show just let it ride. I've seen it. Nobody said a word.
So I didn't bash the show. I found the woman that I felt that should have been the Queen of Show and gave it to her. Closed case. That's it. I didn't have to bash the show or bash them or whatever or however. Just went ahead and gave it to her. They went on about my business. Some people get attached to trophies and they just lose their mind to where they can't, if they notice a discrepancy, they just want to hold on to it. Like, no, but they better do this, they better do that. It's all right. You can go make trophies. You can go get another one done.
Yeah. To sum all this up, y'all, one of the reasons why Miss TJ, and all of us decided we should do a town hall to bring out this awareness about this. There's always going to be discrepancies. There's always going to be disagreements. But if we don't address it, it will diminish the whole reason why these people put this show on. It's about an awareness. Yes, it's a competition. Yes, it's a car show. But if I felt like if it wasn't addressed, it will kill the attendance for this very good cause that these people are doing. So, John, I know you. I know we're cool and everything. I hope you didn't take this like it was a bash session, but people wanted to know. And I'm glad that Mr. Gant and Miss Jackie came on to hear it, because when people tote rumors, it always comes back the wrong way.
Right.
That's like when you tell a story sitting in a classroom. We all had to do this at one point in time of our lives. The first person on the far left's desk, if you got a room of 28 and you tell them something, by the time it gets to the last one at the other end of the classroom, that story has changed.
Right. But again, this was to kind of open people's eyes to the mistakes that were made, because there were some, to your outlook on why you did what you did, and to have them hear all of the feedback versus reading it or it being brought to them in a negative light. Like Miss TJ says, this podcast is about the culture, period. Good, bad, and ugly. This one could have gotten a lot uglier. Hopefully we answer some questions. Hopefully people got a better understanding now about the show. But I we all agree and disagree on different things, but at the end of the day, man, this car culture is a hobby for all of us, one way or another.
Right.
Yep, it's enthusiast. You know, I'd rather people be spending money on their cars than buying dope. You know, being messed up all the time. You know, this is a common analogy I've used. I'm glad you're putting all this money in here because it's a hobby. You enjoy doing it. And you like for people to see what how creative you can be, and the hard work you put into all this.
Boy, these comments, boy, y'all ain't playing these comments.
I stopped reading the comments. But before we go, I just wanted to give a couple of shout outs. Now, I know I'm going to miss some people because it was a lot. There were a lot of people there. But South Carolina Highway Patrol, the Sheriff's Department, lots of car clubs, including About That Life, AHR, Heavy Hitters, Vetzilla and Street Kings out of Ohio, Iron Man, Ron King, Street Royalty, Chaotic Customs, The Law Tigers, Champ from Elite Click, Florida, the Satin Dolls, Team Supreme Line, Elite, Phase 2 Corvette out of Wilmington, Delaware, and Pennsylvania, Royal Whips, Cool Kids Things, Premier Audio Sounds, JRG Photography, Supermodels Car Club, Audio Kings. Of course, there was Black Beauty, Miss Teresa, The Drip, the DJ who was amazing, Wonder Woman, Bumblebee, Kim Possible, Queen Kong, Lady Mopar, Alyssa, Hush No More, Dr. Guyton, Dr. McDonald. Some food trucks were there. Peach Cobbler, Eats, Ray's Diner, Color Me Divine, Iron Horse Lawyers, Brisket Burger, and let me tell y'all about Braylon Loves Cookies. Ooh.
Man. Good. I'm glad you hit on them.
I think that was one of our favorite vendors. They were amazing. Some of the sponsors were, of course, Atlanta CarCast, Little Pigs Barbecue, WACH Fox, Nora Hubbard, State Farm, Dr. Torres. I want to say her name right. Brawlis Pimento from WACH Fox. Of course, Sheriff Lott. Out of all of what we talked about, there were so many good things that happened. Like I said, the vibe was really great. I have to say that seeing that many people from all up and down the East Coast from top to bottom was amazing. Project Jasmine, you guys did a great job of bringing people together for this cause. So, I forgot Versatile also, car club. So I forgot them. Sorry about that. And I'm sure
412 or 421. The Corvette click, that
412. 412.
They were there also.
Yeah.
Did we mention About Their Life?
Yep.
Car club. Okay. And AHR. Okay, gotcha.
Mike Jones.
Oh, Mike Tyson. There was a Mike Tyson there too. Remember?
Mike Jones. Yeah. Mike Jones was there. Yeah. There were a lot of people there. We met a lot of people that we'd only seen online, so that was a nice experience.
Nighthawk with the T was there.
Nighthawk with the T was there. Nighthawk with the T. I think that this conversation has been great. We know we have a lot to work on as a culture, and this isn't the end. It's not the end.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to say, Mr. Gant?
Yes, ma'am. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out to this car show. And another thing I want to address, I want to apologize to the young lady that was bullied online by her car. And I want to thank the community for coming to our rescue. I'm not sure y'all heard about that or not. But next year, Project J is about to be new and improved. I'd like for everybody to come back out next year to this amazing event. And we have something really in store for everybody for next year.
That's what's up.
Right.
All right.
We're making some changes, as you said.
Mr. John, any final words? Now everybody has seen you. Don't be a stranger to Atlanta CarCast. This is a podcast all about car culture, anything on four wheels. We need you back in here. We need you tapped in. Any final words, sir?
No, I enjoyed. I mean, I don't. I do this for the fun of it and to help anybody who wants to learn. And I've said this after I stopped doing all the Nopi shows, when I quit going to SEMA, when I quit doing hot import nights, I mean, the list goes on. And I got to the point where, well, let me start giving back, to some of these guys who are trying to learn and might not have any guidance. I look to try to give them, some input and maybe help them get creative on, building something that they can appreciate and enjoy. The end of the day, we all enjoy what we drive, and we put our money into it. Why not have some fun doing it? I'm the same way. I'm an enthusiast. There's stuff that I've done, and I've enjoyed every bit of it, even though I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars. At the end of the day, it's all what makes us happy and what we enjoy.
That is what's up. So,
I
guys,
have one thing I want to say before y'all go. I want to let all the mothers know out there who are watching that Project Jackson will continue to honor your kid every year.
Okay.
And Whips Kicks Chicks 718, Nopi is no longer. They just got a new owner who bought it just this past summer. So it's back, but not on the same level that it was when it was closed down. The former owner passed away. Two of the three former owners passed away, and a new guy bought it. So that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, do we got hand clappies on deck? Hand clappies on deck. Project Jasmine, John Callahan. So here's my final thoughts. If you don't like the way he judged this show, learn to be a judge. If you don't like how the host hosted the show, learn to be a host.
No, you know what? Hold on. I'm glad you brought that up. It's brought to my attention that some people didn't like the way I hosted the show. Not necessarily hosted, but some of my interactions with some of the guys in the crowd. I'm gonna apologize for the way it happened, but let me say this: in my experience hosting shows or doing award shows, you have to get people involved. My banter has always been friendly. If somebody took it the wrong way, it wasn't me just jumping on them. It was in reply to something they said to me. Either way, it's no excuse. I'm going to apologize for hurting whoever feelings were hurt. The person, the people, I don't know how many people it was, but that is just how I get people involved, get people's attention to what we're doing, whether it's an announcement, whether it's somebody speaking, or whether it's me giving out the awards. So if anybody's here that felt like I said something too negative or out of the way to a person, I apologize for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
One more thing I want to add on.
Go ahead.
One more thing I want to add on. This year, on all my registration sheet, I had no burnouts. So we had some individuals at the car show at the end of the show. They did burnouts at the car show. So next year, I will please y'all don't do any burnouts because they was recorded on video at the fairground.
Oh well, if they did that, they need to lock their ass up. Whoever it was.
That's right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great conversation. So when we do these, spread the word, have some input. We're all about driving the culture forward. We would like to thank Project Jasmine and Mr. John. Great conversation, John. Takes a lot of bravery to do what you did tonight, and we definitely appreciate you here. Don't be a stranger here at Atlanta CarCast. We got clappies ready?
You keep getting me off guard. I'm sorry. I'm doing other stuff.
Clappies ready? Hey, we thank y'all for joining Atlanta CarCast tonight. We will see you on the next one.
All right. So real quick, Derek Ghostware, Queen, Icon King. Yeah, I know that's something I normally do, but it was brought to my attention that I hurt someone's feelings. Now, that's never my goal. But in defense of what I did, and I know who the person they're talking about, he said something to me first, and assumed that I wasn't going to say anything back. And then what I said back to him offended other people. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm apologizing for, is offending anybody. Because I don't give a damn what I say, especially if you start with me. So I'm apologizing for the way it looked versus what I did, if that makes sense.
That's for sure. Okay. So, moving right along, shameless plug. We're going to give it to you one more time for the people that are late joining, and we're going to move on to something else.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Mister from Atlanta CarCast. Check out our new merch store where we drop new products frequently. Get your merch now and use code LAUNCH20 for 20% off.
All right. Launch 20 for 20% off. Launch 20 for 20% off. We want to show the upcoming shows, or we just gonna end this? What y'all want to do?
Hold on. I bet you we're gonna talk about one. We're gonna talk about one upcoming show.
Nah, we're not gonna talk about it.
You ain't got to. Battle for the Ring, September the 6th. Wow. Stay in.
Let's go ahead and give it to him. Go ahead, Skip.
Sunday?
Oh, wait a minute. Let me make my screen big here. All right. What we got? Beyond the Ribbon. Okay. Beyond the Ribbon and Southeast Wheels Events presents Horsepower for Hope and Healing. August the 22nd, 11 to 3. People's Choice, Kids' Choice, new category, best presentation. All cars, motorcycles, trucks, and slingshots welcome. It's going to be at, I can't see that.
3640 McGinnis Park Court in Swanee, Georgia.
And the entry fee is $20. That is August the 22nd from 11 to 3.
All right.
King of Chat Car Show, First Horizon Pavilion, August the 29th at 1826 Reggie White Boulevard, Chattanooga, Tennessee, from 11 to 6. That's all the information on the flyer.
I like that flyer. That's like AI and Adobe. That is crazy. That flyer is crazy. Go ahead.
Goodbye, mister.
Battle for the Ring 7 Car, Truck, and Bike Show. Sponsored and hosted by Skips Trophies and More. Date September the 6th. Time 12 to 5. Location to be determined. I will have a solidified location by Monday, guys. The entry fee is $50, $5 spectator fee. 45 plus rings will be given away. Largest car club trophy, best of show, or farthest travel. We will also do a 50-50 raffle. And I have some other stuff I'm going to do some giveaways with. Vendor fee is $150. Contact me, Skip, at 404-992-8356 for any possibilities. Music will be allowed at moderate levels.
It is an Atlanta CarCast thing too, y'all.
Moderate?
Shut it up, lady. This is for, anyway, New Manchester High School, second annual car show and band battle. Support our band, celebrate our community. Saturday, September the 12th. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That will be at New Manchester High School. I cannot see that address. It's in red. The time is from 10 to 4, September the 12th. Car entry is $20. Wait a minute. One says 20 and one says 25. I can't read that red on that black like that. So
it says car entry at the gate. So I guess before is 20, at the gate is 25.
Oh, early bird. That's what that says.
And this is KJ's son's school, and he's in the band. So let's support our own KJ's. Actually, he's a KJ too. He's a Khalil Jr. or Khalil.
That's right.
So let's support Khalil's marching band at New Manchester High School on September 12th.
Shout out.
Put that in my calendar.
Shout out. Sweet Ride. Let me do this. Can I do this one? Sweet Ride, September 19th. Sweet Auburn Barbecue, 1828 Jonesboro Road, down on the south side in McDonough, Georgia, 30253. This is from 9 to 3. Music by DJ Tiny Tim. And this is hosted by Bled, 392 Icon King, and the Camaro King Batman. This is a free event. If you're living under the rock and you haven't heard about this one, this is the one you want to go to because it don't cost you nothing. This is free 99 and it's for the culture. This is the car and bike show. Super trophies, a ton. I don't even want to start listening. This show will have a ton of specialty trophies that have all been sanctioned by several entities throughout car culture. You want to be here because you're going to get great trophies. That's all I want to say. Sweet Rides, September 19th. You still got time. Book it now. Set your calendar. Put it in your group me for your car club. Let's get it.
All right, Divine Interventions, 5th Annual Car, Truck, and Motorcycle Show from 10 to 3, Saturday, September the 26th at Heritage Baptist Church at 345 Curtis Parkway in Calhoun, Georgia. The registration is $25. There will be a 50-50 raffle, a 7-foot club trophy, and at least 30 trophies to be awarded. Admission is free to attend. The registration for the show is $25, but spectators are free. So, okay, gotcha. And Sweet Auburn Music Fest 2026, the Culture Connection Auto Show, classic, modern, custom, all culture. It will be at the Sweet Auburn Music Fest, built on heritage, driven by passion, united by music. Oh, $60 VIP, best of show entry, premium show car location, VIP parking, best of show qualification, $35 show car entry, custom car entry, parking spot, great music and vibes, food and vendors. Free spectators, general admission, great music, food and vendors, family fun for all ages. That will be from 12 to 7 on September 26th at 214 John Wesley Dobbs Avenue, Northeast Atlanta. That is right on Auburn Avenue.
That's right.
Another high school.
I'm sorry?
It's another high school.
Oh, South Cobb High School, Soaring Sound Marching Band, Car, Truck, and Bike Show. That will also be September the 26th at South Cobb High School. The show starts at 1. I'm trying to see the time. Yeah. It says participant check-in begins at 1. Doors open to the public at 2:30 p.m. And a lot of that stuff is too small. It looks like it says $25 free. Yes, spectators free, and I can't see that.
All these are on our website. If you're also a member of Atlanta CarCast on Instagram, if you're a member of our subscription, all these flyers are there as well. So if you can't see it on here,
these AI flyers is crazy. Go ahead. Wow.
DJ Tiny Tim presents the 2nd annual Trunk or Treat Car and Bike Show, Saturday, October the 31st. $25 entry fee, $5 spectator fee, over 30 trophies and categories, best of show, best male and female, best rap, best bike, best truck, kids choice, cleanest old school, best sound, and I'm looking for quality sound. This will be at Hot Wing Cafe, hosted by OG Magic. The address is 6595 Tara Boulevard, Jonesboro, Georgia. AHR, that looks like the retards, and 3 p.m. until, I can't read those flyers, but I think I got it right.
All right. Well, that's what we got so far.
Mm-hmm.
So where is Nighthawk? Where is Nighthawk still in the chat? He been stirring up trouble, y'all. He been stirring up trouble, y'all, and I got to tell y'all. Is Nighthawk still in the chat? He been stirring up trouble lately.
Good trouble. He's just doing some
good trouble.
Some versus head-to-head little battles he's got going on.
Real quick, y'all. Alyssa's in the chat. Hey, Alyssa.
Hey, Alyssa.
How are you doing, darling? We was talking about you because you my cheerleader. You my cheerleader.
That's right.
Thank you for tuning in, Miss Alyssa.
If you haven't been tapped in with, all of us are fam. This Atlanta CarCast has different branches of this big tree. So Nighthawk with the T had an idea that he wanted to put different builds against different builds, and it sparked a little bit of viralticity, or a little, I ain't gonna say controversy, but
viralticity.
Yeah, viralticity.
It is word. It is.
Yeah. So yeah, he he been in these streets cooking up or whatever. So he's placing almost like a versus, like what y'all gonna see tonight between Joe and I don't know who is it. Donnell Jones. I don't know. I just like
Yeah,
Joe.
Donnell Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm for Joe. Anyway, so he's doing the same thing with cars. So if you haven't seen what he's doing, go to Nighthawk with the T's page and participate in these versus challenges. Car to car, setup to setup. You can vote on his page, and I wish he was here so we can ask him some questions. So definitely support that. What else is going on in these streets before we get out of here?
How can I say this? Competition is competition, people.
Yeah.
It could be friendly, it could be, against people you don't like, but at the end of the day, it's still competition. When you enter these shows, one thing I like to do when I'm judging a show is, hey, put me on a flyer so people will know I'm judging.
That's right.
So I hope that's no shot at nobody else. That's just what I do because I like transparency. But at the end of the day, man, we're all competing. We can't win them all. I understand there was a lot of discrepancies, but let's not spoil what we love doing because of discrepancies or because of misunderstandings or disagreements. So right. I got love for everybody in every car. I don't care who don't like me. I don't care who, got an issue with me or whatever. If you come on this car saying you're going to see me, that's just it because I love it. So right.
You can't miss them. Big. It's just big.
Also, when you take Project Jasmine, right, and you put it in a location, and all of those outer locations, swarm into that one location. Like Atlanta CarCast in South Carolina wasn't a thing 7 years ago. Wasn't a thing 5 years ago. Now we're starting to branch out to different communities in Ohio and South Carolina. So we appreciate if you're a viewer outside of the metro Atlanta area, thank you. Thank you. And also, if you haven't subscribed or hitting the like button or you haven't shared or you're not hyping this video, use the food because it don't cost you nothing. And if you don't do it, use a hater. You can get back on that shit. So anyway, that's Miss TJ, but I got one more before we get out of here because we're cooking. If you have not been, wait, what?
Go ahead.
I got one more I want to give you. If you have not been to AtlantaCastNetwork.com, please check it out. It has everything we're doing. It has our calendar. You want to know what Queen Con gonna be at? AtlantaCastNetwork.com. You want to know the swag we got to offer? AtlantaCastNetwork.com. You want to get that new fire t-shirt or that fire hat? AtlantaCastNetwork.com. Here's another one for you.
The official Atlanta CarCast merch is here. Get yours now and use code LAUNCH20 for 20% off. Quality gear for our community. Visit our store today.
That ain't me, y'all. That wasn't me. AI is a monster. You hear me?
It almost looks like you. A younger.
Yeah. No, it looked like me, but that voice.
Definitely not. But listen, as we wrap up tonight's town hall, we hope this conversation has challenged all of us to think deeper about the culture we've helped create and where it's headed. At the end of the day, trophies tarnish, plaques collect dust, and winners eventually change. But the impact we make on the people, the cause we support, the relationships we build, the legacy we leave behind will last forever. Car culture was built on passion, creativity, and community. Right?
Right.
It wasn't just about who had the biggest wheels, the loudest stereo, the most trophies. It was about showing up, supporting one another, sharing knowledge, and using our platform to make a difference. Tonight isn't about choosing sides. It's about starting a conversation. It's about asking ourselves if we're still aligned with the values that brought us here in the first place. And if we're not, what are we willing to do to get back on track? As Atlanta CarCast continues to grow, we remain committed to celebrating the people behind the builds, highlighting the causes that matter, and creating a culture that's bigger than the competition. Thank you to everyone who joined us, shared your thoughts, and contributed to this important conversation. We hope you'll be back next week. And if you haven't subscribed, like Mr. said, hit that subscribe button. I'm not going to say what he said.
Shout out to AM Precision Laser. I see you in the chat.
Yes.
That beautiful trophy we gave out, it's all because of that man.
Absolutely. We didn't even talk about that, but we have more down the pipeline from him. If you guys come to Sweet Rides, he's making about 6 of those specialty trophies. So I have to say that the queen of the show is probably going to be the bestest, most spectacularest. So I'm encouraging you women from all over, Lady Mopar, Alyssa, I need all of y'all to show up. We got something for y'all. It's going to be amazing. I'm trying to tell you. And it's free. And there's a light show the night before. Make a whole weekend, queen. Come on.
See, let me tell you something. I couldn't type
Here she goes.
Let me tell you something. I was ready to jump on you anyway because I couldn't click it in fast enough to say, "Hey, I'll donate the Queen of the Show." Donate the Queen of the Show.
You can be 2 Queen of Shows though.
It's free. It's free. You can enter.
No, I mean, it could be 2 Queen of Show awards. It could be Queen Cole's Queen of Show. It could be Miss TJ's Queen of Show. It could be whatever. So ain't no excuse. You done already committed to it. So what's happening?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen.
I can do all the Queen of the Show.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, remember, don't just build your ride, build your legacy. Don't just chase trophies, chase impact. Rep the culture and drive the movement. This is Atlanta CarCast. I go by the name of Mr. That's Mr. Skip. That's Miss TJ. That's Queen Kong. And we are Atlanta CarCast. Nighthawk with the Tizzle was in the background. We'll catch y'all next same time. Whatever.
Yep.
We out.
Yep.
That big ass hat on his head.
That's it. We out.
Hey, listen, real quick, hold on before you hit the button. Precision Laser, I appreciate everything you've done, man. I love all those trophies. If you make them all, I can't get all the business. So don't stop doing what you're doing. Your trophies are spectacular. So no,
you can't keep stepping on my ending like that. Like that.
Man, listen. You was all discombobulated. Get your words right. But I just want to let him know. Good stuff, man. You're killing it.
AM Precision, shout out. We out.
Oh, you wanted me to hit the button?
Hit the button, woman. Jesus Christ.
Oh God. Good
Appreciate
night.
y'all.
We always
Rev it up, let the engine sing. Lights flashing, bass gonna ring. TJ, Mr. Skip in the lane. Queen Kong, Nighthawk, bringing the flame. Atlanta CarCast, we ride supreme. Supercar dreams, yeah, we live that scene. TJ on the mic, keep the talk tight. Mr. got the vision, make the chrome shine bright. Queen Kong in the back with the